Step by step, day by day. And Scott Stapp, that guy from Creed. Did you know that every Creed song was based on an ep of Step by Step? You probably didn't, so now shut up and learn. It's time for Step by Step.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Step by Step, the podcast. I am the host of Step by Step, the podcast. My name is Chris McCarthy, and I am here with a co-host, and let me just see who it is. Let me look across the table. I'm looking up. I see a pair of hands and two arms and a neck and a chin. It's Rob Haddon.
Hey, there we go. Hey, good to be back.
Hey, sorry, you stepped on your own name. What's your name?
Rob Haddon.
That's right. So Rob is the co-host. He's back here. Welcome to the show, Rob.
I have to say, last episode,
Yeah,
that stuck without me here.
it did, but we're not going to talk
You can't
about
carry this by yourself.
We're not going to talk about last episode or any other episodes. We want this to be a singular experience for the listener outside of any of that.
Yeah, come in, come out. These stand alone. You don't need to know what happened before, and you don't even know to know what's going to happen next time. You know what? Just listen to one, and that's all you need.
Just listen to one episode, guys. Hey, welcome to the show. And I would say it's a special day because not only do we have Rob back home where he belongs, and not only do we have me, which is honestly pretty cool, but we have someone else as well, and that person is a guest, and it's Erika.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So Erika is a guest on the show, and she's been here before. Everyone knows her. Everyone loves her. And
Everyone's favorite guest, Erika.
yes, but you haven't been here in some time.
In a long time. No one has invited me.
No one's invited you, and I haven't seen you in a
No.
while, is the problem.
I moved out. We're getting a divorce.
Well,
no,
there is
just
a...
kidding. Just
no,
kidding.
well, that's good
We
to
are
explain,
getting a
though,
divorce, though.
Is that... No, we're married.
Oh, yeah, we're married.
For
We
now,
should-
I guess
we
you guys
should
are getting a divorce. So
we
awesome.
should say that up front.
I forgot these are standalone episodes. Yes, we are married,
Yes.
but we hate each other, so we're getting a divorce.
That is true. But the
Also
podcast
false.
comes above everything.
Yeah. Podcast before marriage.
We're not getting a divorce. We're actually getting married again.
Oh, you're
We're
renewing
getting
the vows.
double
We're
married.
renewing
We're
our
doing-
vows tonight.
Have you ever heard of double or nothing? Because we're doing that right now.
Oh,
it's
like either it works or you both lose everything?
yeah,
And
we're
who
like,
gets to take everything?
well, so
Isn't
most,
that every marriage?
No.
Either it works or you both lose everything?
Well, you either take half or one ends up with everything.
if this one fails, both of us get nothing. All of the money we have, which is not a ton.
Yeah. If we go through a divorce,
Yeah.
any divorce, we probably both end up with nothing at the
I
end.
think
of
it all goes
so-
to Rob now.
Yeah.
You're the beneficiary.
Oh, so it's in my best interest to sabotage this.
Technically, yes. But anyway,
You look good tonight.
thanks. Hey, so listen, this is a very special night. There's a few things happening here. We're so excited to have Erika back. We wanted to get back into the mind of a Creed fan is one of the things that we wanted to do because Erika, as some of you might know, she hasn't been on in a while, but she used to be a pretty big Creed fan. So we want to talk about some of her experiences loving Creed, and we'll get there.
Which I only did in high school and I don't
Yeah.
anymore.
And we don't
Just-
understand why, because we still do.
I know, yeah, it's kind of weird. And so we're going to talk about that. What else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about, well, let me tell you about the show in general.
Well, because
This
this is a standalone episode. So
Yeah, so I have to explain the premise.
Right.
Do you
So,
think anyone's checking in now? Like they haven't listened before and they're just like, I wonder what this thing is. I'll listen to episode, what is this, 59?
68.
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm going to just check in on episode 68.
A
Do you
new
think-
listener would, I think, maybe, yeah. When people start listening, they usually listen to the first and the most recent, is what I found.
Ooh,
Yeah, a
guys,
lot of
you should pick
pressure.
you should pick a different one.
yeah.
Lot of pressure. So, what's the show about? Well, there was a show, television show in the 90s called Step by Step, and everyone remembers that. It was excellent.
I say a lot of people actually don't remember it when people are like, your husband has a podcast about what? And I have to explain it. I'm like, remember that show?
Who are those people asking that question in such a rude way?
A lot of
people?
percent of people.
Hmm.
And then I'm like, you remember that show?
A lot of people are saying.
Step by Step. And then they're like, no. And then I'm like, do you remember that band Creed? And then they're like, no. It kind of doesn't go anywhere.
Here's what
from
I
there.
think. A lot of people are liars. And
they go home and just like put it on. They're just like, it's my favorite show.
Oh, no, I don't like Step by Step or Creed. And they go home and they put their
them both.
headphones on and they put on their Apple TVs and they just binge. But yeah, we're talking about, and the whole point is that Scott Stapp wrote his songs about step by step. So that's why we're here. That is what we're telling you about. That said, we're going to talk about an episode of Step by Step today called Feeling 40. It's about Carol turning 40 years old and getting addicted to diet pills. And then we're going to talk about a Scott Stapp solo song called...
Does it even have a name?
Crash.
Okay.
The song?
By Dave Matthews.
It could be a cover. We don't know yet. Actually, I know because I'm a huge Creed fan.
We both know, yeah.
We'll talk about both those things. We're going to talk about Erika loving Creed and seeing them live in concert. That's a story we haven't heard yet from her. But also, it's a very special day because we're celebrating, of course, we do it every year, Scottoberfest. And it's the entire month of Scottober, which is when we celebrate Scott Stapp for all of the seasonal things that remind us of him in the fall. So we have our Scottoberfest brew here that Rob and I have concocted.
I didn't know about any of this. This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry, what? You didn't know that it's Scottober right now?
So,
do you not have a calendar?
Really? I custom printed the calendars. I gave Chris one.
Yeah, did you not get the calendar that Rob slid under our bedroom door one morning?
Only
is
1
that
month.
What that was?
And it's just a poster of Scott Stapp with handwritten, I wrote Scottober on it.
Yeah, you didn't get that?
I did. I didn't.
You didn't look at it.
I didn't look at it enough.
Well, so it is Scottober, and it is Scottoberfest. And because of that, we have our Scottoberfest beer that we're drinking. And Erika, I'm going to give you a glass here.
Thank you.
Rob, why don't you slide one of those frothy mugs over to me, please?
Here you go. Hey, you know what brew this is?
I don't.
This is Can You Take Me High PA?
Oh, great. I
Special brew of my own making.
Wait to drink it. That's excellent. What's in this bad boy?
Oh, it's mostly a little bit of chalk.
Okay.
Some water. Some hops.
All right.
A little bit of yeast.
Sounds like a little bit like beer, except it has chalk in it, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, something for the flavor.
Okay.
And a little bit of my hair.
A little bit of what now?
Huh?
What?
A little bit of my hair.
It sounded like you said his hair.
Gross.
That is gross.
Look, protein's so hot in the marketplace these days. I was like, how can I get some protein in here?
I'll try it.
This is a hairy protein beer. I'm just going to stick with my pumpkin Stapp latte.
Pumpkin Stapp latte? Yeah, that is like a cozy feeling, I feel like, right?
It's like a warm, snuggly, stappy, spicy.
Yes. And so we'll just be celebrating that throughout the show. And I hope you at home can celebrate as well. Now, before we get to the big thing we have to get to, which is the episode, there's another thing we have to do, guys. And I hate to do it because it takes time, but I also have to do it because it is something that we ask people to do, which is leave us voicemails. And that's why we have this segment called
You've Got Voicemail.
So...
You don't listen to the show, do you?
Literally never. I literally never listen to your show. No offense. It's very funny and everyone should listen. I just choose not to.
My wife listens. I can see why you guys are having a rough patch.
Sometimes we like to listen to the voicemails that people leave us.
And by sometimes, I mean anytime someone sends a voicemail, we listen to it.
Yeah, which used to be never. And originally, we had to make them up ourselves because no one was leaving them. And now people started leaving them. So let's hear a few. A while ago, we did set up very specific parameters of when you leave a voicemail, if you're a listener of the show, you have to do it a certain way in order for us to play it. You have to first say, hello. Step 2, you have to apologize to us for not having left a voicemail before now, because we have had this voicemail set up for quite a while. And like I said, no one was hitting it up. So please apologize to us. It has to be sincere, obviously. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you have to tell us something that we did in your life that helped you become a better person. And last but not least, guys, don't forget to say goodbye. I can't believe I have to tell you this.
Oh, you also have to tell us that it's the best podcast.
I can't believe I forgot that. You have to tell us that we're the best podcast in the world.
Universe.
In the world or the universe. Yeah.
And one more thing. Say your name.
Yes.
Tell us your name.
Please tell us your name. So,
a lot of conditions.
well,
it can be in any order.
some people have.
It sounded like it had to be stepwise the way you just said it. Maybe people are confused.
Well, look, we gave out step-by-step instructions.
Step-by-step instructions. Yeah. Some people have gotten very close, but
has no one
No
done
cigar?
all the things?
no one has gotten the full cigar yet. So let's
We
hear.
got like 12 conditions, guys, to be fair.
Let's hear a voicemail.
Hey, Chris and Rob, this is Brad. Sorry for not calling and leaving a voicemail before. You guys are literally the best podcast ever in the history of the world. I've listened to you guys since you were family chatters. Listening to you guys makes me more of a man. I've got 3 more chest hairs to prove it. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, that was Brad, and hey, pretty good voicemail, am I right? He says, "Hey, Chris and Rob, this is Brad. Sorry for not calling. Best podcast in the history of the world." I would say that voicemail was almost perfect.
Almost.
Yeah.
But did you notice? He said, "All right, guys, I'll talk to you later."
Yes, I did notice that.
Don't come on. Don't make an assumption that we're going to have a conversation at some point.
That's fairly presumptuous. I'm sorry, Brad. Talk to you later. We have never talked to you before, technically, right? Erica's looking at us.
I feel like you're being really mean to Brad.
Oh, no.
No. We love Brad. We love
Brad is
Brad.
the best.
Yeah, Brad's great.
Brad's my favorite.
Brad's the best so far, but
He's the best so far, but
he
guess
could
what?
do better.
We have 2 more voicemails. And
Oh,
yes,
boy.
Brad, you could do better, but that was great. And thank you for listening. Here's another one.
Don't let it hurt your feelings, Brad.
Hey guys, it's me, Merrick. I'm really sorry I haven't called in before. I've just actually been really down a little while. A couple months back, when I started to listen to your show, I actually had decided to celebrate by breaking out the box of 1996 Olympics Special Championship Blend Cheerios that I've been saving for a special occasion. And I was really looking forward to the special blend and the mix that they had. It was Frosted Cheerios, Honey Nut, and the whole wheat kind of mixed together. And, well, I ate them and they tasted like cardboard. But the frosted Cheerios, which are typically the best, were just poor. They didn't hold up. And I thought that they would. So, I know you guys have the best podcast in the world. But it was actually what was really listening to this show and continuing to go through it that really lifted me out of my, championship blend blues funk. So you really improved my life after eating those Cheerios. And, I just wanted to say thank you. So goodbye.
Okay, and that was Merrick. Thank you, Merrick, for your voicemail.
We're sorry that you're not the Supreme Court justice, but we love
boy.
your voicemail
Oh my God,
so
do you think
much.
it was Merrick Garland?
Have you ever heard of anyone else named Merrick other than
Now,
Merrick Garland?
this is interesting.
He's been in a funk. He didn't get the Supreme Court
Funny that he
position.
didn't mention that. He mentioned a lot about Cheerios.
I mean, the
getting him
Cheerios.
down.
The Cheerios.
The
What are you going to say?
1996 Olympic edition.
What are you going to say? Politics, am I right? But also Cheerios.
Well, we are
all
not
understand.
politics. And you know what, Merrick?
Hey.
Merrick probably knows that.
We have stated unequivocally on this show that we are not politics. And so, Erika, I have to give you the 3rd degree here. Are you politics?
I am not politics.
Oh, thank God.
But I'm just saying there's only one person named
That was
Merrick.
a close one. Oh,
And
yeah.
thankfully,
yeah.
he didn't go politics either. He went full Cheerios.
I thank God Merrick Garland is not in politics right now. Can you imagine?
This is not politics.
Hey,
Chris,
no,
Chris,
I know.
hey,
I
hey.
know. Rob, I
Chris?
know. Yeah, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris?
Rob.
How did we get out of this?
I don't know.
Erica, say something.
Say something, Rob.
I'm not
what?
politics.
Erica?
Okay, great.
Okay, good.
So yeah, Merrick Garland, thank you so much for this voicemail.
We're sorry your Cheerios were so stale.
I am sorry about that, and I actually do remember those Cheerios. The ones he's talking about, the Olympic ones from '96. I had those.
They had a shelf life though, Merrick.
Ate them at the time, and
They still had a sell-by date.
if I had one criticism of this, and I don't have a lot, I just have one. I wanted to hear more about the Cheerios. feel like he could have spent more time on that.
I want to know what happened to the Cheerios. I mean, you've had that box for 22 years.
That's right.
Did you save what was left? Did you throw away all the cereal and the bag inside and just keep the box and put it back on your shelf?
Where was it kept? Yeah.
Where have you been storing it this entire time?
Great question. But anyway, Merrick, thanks, buddy. And the last one.
Guys, I'm really sorry I haven't left a voicemail up to this point and all that shit. But I want you to know, you really helped me through some rough times. And there is an undeniable truth in all your words. And, oh man, my name's Troy, by the way. Step by step, forever. Woo!
Okay.
I'm really worried about that guy.
That was Troy. I'm worried about him too, only because he's the only one who has left a perfect voicemail.
Play the perfect voicemail buzzer. There it is, the perfect voicemail buzzer. We've been waiting to play it.
I have been waiting all my life to play that perfect voicemail buzzer. We finally got one. Troy, you did it.
He sounded really sad, though.
He sounded like he was about to fall asleep. He sounded like he maybe was asleep, which is maybe the only thing I would say is like, I'm not sure this guy actually meant to call us. I think there's a chance Troy fell asleep.
Like he set an alarm.
I think he's sleep dialing.
Oh.
And like maybe he listened to us and then wasn't planning on calling, but in his subconscious, in his dreams, just picked up that phone and dialed. And if you want to dial us in your dreams, or when you're awake, pick up that phone and dial 209-STAP-IT. That is 209-782-7748. That's the number. You can call and leave us a voicemail.
It's also a Port Washington, Wisconsin phone number.
How did you get that?
Talking to the mic if you're going to talk, Erika.
Oh, I thought we were going to cut this after the fact. How did you get such a sweet-ass phone number?
Google Voice.
You could just say, like, I wanted to be from Port Washington and I wanted to spell my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's available.
We did that, yeah.
The internet. Am I right?
I noticed you've never called and left one.
I didn't even know you had a phone.
Oh, boy.
Hold on, stop there. You just said to your husband, I didn't even know you had a phone. Well, obviously you guys don't know anything about each other.
That's part of the problem is that we don't know much about each other. Most of the conversations I've had with her have been on mic.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder, do you guys know each other outside of this podcast?
I haven't been on the podcast since February. That was the last communication that Chris and I have had.
And we have a daughter, and we live in the same house, and we moved to a new house together.
But we never spoke.
And we've attended multiple social occasions together.
You guys sold and bought a house without even talking to each other about it.
We haven't even talked about it. We were just on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Oh, that's good that you guys are just like subconscious like that.
Yeah, we really are connected, but also we are getting
But yeah, and full conscious, subconscious, we're there. Full conscious, not so much.
Most conversations I have, I'm like, no, it's not working. But guess what, guys? We got to take a break. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about the episode of Step by Step where Carol gets addicted to diet pills. We're going to talk about the Scott Stapp solo song called Crash. And we're going to, of course, hear about Erika's experience loving Creed.
Of course.
And seeing a Creed show live back in the day. Also, of course, we're going to continue celebrating Scottoberfest. Be right back.
Step by step.
These skinny tabs are making you crazy. I want you to stop taking them.
Oh, you are just jealous because I've got more energy than you.
You've got more energy than Wisconsin Electric. Now give them to me.
No, they make me feel good, and I've already lost 3 pounds.
Carol, they're dangerous, and you're becoming addicted to them.
I am not.
Then give them to me.
No.
Carol, give them to me. You are out of control.
No, they are not. Oh, I am not out of control. I am losing weight, and I'm getting a lot done, and it is all because of these pills, and I am not addicted to them. I just need them. Oh my God, what am I doing?
Okay, guys, that was a clip from Step by Step, and whoo boy.
Talk about rock bottom.
Yeah, talk about it, right? Talk about it, Erika.
Carol.
You know what? Don't just talk about it, be about it.
Okay, I'm gonna be about it. Carol in this episode takes diet pills, which is just heavily concentrated caffeine. And any woman who's a woman has probably taken one in their life. Unfortunately, no women listen to this podcast, but if they did, they would know.
What makes you say that? The voicemails from all the men and common sense?
Yeah, just all of that. But a diet pill is basically just like a super concentrated cup of coffee. And Carol takes diet pills for exactly 1 day per the episode.
Yes. And
becomes so addicted that she goes full Jessie Spano, I'm so excited.
Yes, ruins her life,
falls down on the floor and is like, I need the medicine, or whatever she said.
Well, whatever.
Mommy needs her medicine.
Whatever you just heard is the clip that I played.
We didn't, the clip. We watched it. And so she screams out about how, I need it so bad. And Frank is like, you're addicted. And she's like, no. And it's like, okay, but like, it's like you had an extra cup of coffee today though, bitch.
Yeah,
this was their version of a drug episode, though. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what this was.
Yes. And speaking of drugs,
there were real drugs in the 90s, though. Like one of those kids couldn't have You're telling me Cody never like took a little puff of the.
No, Cody's straight edge,
Magic
bro.
Dragon? No, not Cody.
That's his straight edge personality. Like that's how he came out.
Speaking of straight edge, I was trying to segue to something else,
okay.
but I'm just gonna say whatever the last thing you said and say speaking of that, and then try to fit it in. Speaking of straight edge, you know what's a good way to not be straight edge is to drink alcohol, which is what we're doing today on Scottoberfest. So we had Rob's brew before, which was great. And now here's mine. This is a homemade beer, the Scottoberfest special. And Erika, here's your cup. And Rob, here's your cup.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
I like the color. It's interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it?
What would you say is in here?
Well, I would say, so what I did was I tried to think of things that remind me of Scott Stapp. And I tried to put them all in a blender together.
Oh, to really capture the essence.
And so to capture Scott Stapp's essence. So what I did was I was like, what does he like? He likes America. So
loves it.
Slice of apple pie in the blender, right? That's America to me. So we got a little apple pie flavor, you might notice. And then I'm like, what else is America? Baseball. So I threw a baseball in there. Blend it up. Okay, and what else would Scott Stapp like? But also, what else would Scott Stapp like to see chopped up into fine little pieces? And so you might notice a hint of Dreams of My Father, the Barack Obama biography. That's in the blender.
Because he loves it or because he wants it chopped up?
He wants it chopped up.
He wants it destroyed.
The other two he loves, I think he wants to consume it and then shoot it out the other end, if you know what I'm saying. Listen, this is just me speculating on what Scott Stapp would want to drink. And so those are the ingredients that I did forget. I was supposed to put some type of liquid in there and I forgot to do that. So
very solid.
He just milked a Make America Great Again hat.
Yeah, which does not produce a lot
no,
of
it's just
milk.
a tiny, tiny bit of milk.
It's not a lot. This is an incredibly dry beer that is non-alcoholic and is non-liquid. And some people say, I've heard people describe like different types of wine as like, oh, this is dry. And I'm like, tell that to my pets after I spilled a whole bottle on it, friend. But this, on the other hand, you could literally dump it over your head and be bone dry.
Yeah.
In fact, you would be covered in a very fine dust, I would say.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it a paste because even the moisture from the apples is really not doing anything.
No.
Stop that right up.
They're wooden apples.
Yeah, it was not a real slice of apple pie. I couldn't.
Oh, is it from like your kid's play kitchen?
Yeah. So that's part of it. And so I assume that tastes like apple pie. I didn't actually taste. I haven't tried this yet. Is it good? I noticed you both took a very small sip.
I mean, I put my tongue on it. You can't really sip it.
It was like, like pixie sticks.
You know what? It is kind of like pixie sticks. And honestly, the way you packaged it in, you can't even really call this a mug. It's like a really, really, really big, thin, like paper straw.
When I said cup earlier,
yeah,
what I meant was very thin paper straw.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
could just like pop the top off. All right, you know what? When I was a kid, I used to snort pixie sticks because I thought it would get you sugar high a little faster.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens here.
Okay.
All right.
Go for it. Okay, so now Rob is lining up. He's got his credit card out, and he is about to do a line of this beer.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, that hurts.
Yeah.
No, not good.
Oh, sorry.
Not.
Well, it does have. It has wood.
It does.
Reestablished.
It's
It's
sharp.
got an entire.
Oh, it's so sharp.
book
Yeah. No, I could.
A
It's,
baseball cap and a plastic kitchen
and a
piece of-
baseball. There's actually a
Apple pie.
baseball in it.
yeah, it's like all those strings are just like. There's one that went down my nasal cavity, still hanging out of my nose. Hold on, get that out.
Okay, but
whole mime
Oh.
thing here.
on the other hand, pretty good, right?
Delicious.
Honestly,
Thank you. Anyway, I can't wait to taste Erica's beer after this that she created.
I wasn't prepared for this.
Oh boy, you're gonna have to think of something.
because we're gonna cut this part and throw you right back into it later.
Nobody told me I had to come up with this shtick here, Chris.
Which stick? Pixie stick?
Pixie sticks.
Guys, let's talk about Carol. Let's talk about Carol's issue. And what is her issue is that she is turning 40 and she goes to the dress store. And she's at the dress store and she finds.
Can I?
Please.
Can I?
Please, you're getting so amped. You're
I'm
so amped.
fucking amped. So she goes to the dress store and like this was some like sad life dress bar nonsense. And there's a fat lady in a muumuu who runs the store. And the fat lady is holding her belly like a pregnant chick, but she ain't pregnant. She's just fat. And she's like, hey, Carol, how old are you? 40? When you turn 40, your whole body turns to shit and your life is garbage and everything's terrible and nothing fits you. What? Isn't that sad? What kind of store lady are you?
She was a
what kind of store lady
bad
is she?
store lady, I would say. And
Do you want to buy this dress though? And then she says,
she basically single-handedly pushes Carol to addiction.
yeah. She said, she goes, what size are you? And Carol said, I'm usually a size 4 or whatever, a 6, whatever she said. Those buns of steel. And she goes, bitch, you ain't no 6.
Kind of, yeah. She did it in a little bit more of a sitcom way where she was, I don't remember what she said.
She was
but
like,
essentially,
you got love
bitch.
handles. It ain't gonna fit you, bitch. And Carol's like, I'm just 40 though. I'm doing my best here on earth. And she's like, no, you fat.
yeah. You've made her, this sales lady, into a very specific type of person, which she wasn't, but that is the
That was my takeaway.
That is the attitude she was.
Whatever she said, that's what I heard.
Right. So she essentially tells Carol, you fat. And Carol says, oh, you know what I should do? Get addicted to pills.
Well, she's like, I gotta lose a few pounds. Let me start working out. How can I do
And
it
so
quickly in 22 minutes?
She does crunches
Right.
for one day. And when she isn't immediately 20 pounds lighter from one day of crunches, also, aren't you an adult? Don't you know that
And
doesn't...
also, let me say this. I would say to a sales lady, excuse me, she no fat.
You fat.
You fat and she fit.
You fat, she fit.
Right?
Yeah.
But in Carol's mind, store lady is right. So the clip I played is her at rock bottom, as you said, Rob. And
The next morning.
the funny thing to me is that the resolution is she
Just doesn't do pills anymore.
just stops doing it. So Patrick Duffy exposes her for the addict she is by spilling her loose bag full of pills.
It's like a tiny box, like
Yeah.
a little tiny box, and he like smacks it with the side of his hand, like
By accident,
gently,
yeah.
by accident, and it goes like
explodes.
pills go fucking flying everywhere. I don't remember the 90s that well. Like, did they not have bottles for pills? And
No, they had
childhood locks?
exploding cardboard boxes full of pills, is what I have learned.
Spring-loaded boxes full of pills. Yeah.
they're- Diet pills came in very carefully packaged, spring-loaded,
box-
exploding boxes.
You remember those little cans? You would open it up and a snake would shoot out?
Yes.
That's the same packaging that was used for pills. And they were like, oh, wait, we need to keep children safe. Then they took the
Right.
spring out, and then it's evolved since then. But yeah.
Yeah, to what we know today, which is a traditional bottle.
Right. but like, you just have to get the top just right or push it down and twist.
Yeah. But Patrick Duffy explodes the pills, and Carol is now apologizing and being like, I can't believe I didn't see my own addiction. And Patrick Duffy's right there with her. He's like, listen, it's okay. We'll get through this. And they hug it out.
Are we not going to talk about the Cody thing?
Oh, God. No. So, no, we're not. But
Cody sees Abe Lincoln. It's fine.
yeah, so there is a slight thing that happens on the subplot with Cody, which I was not planning on talking about at all. And then it happened, and we were all watching it. And Cody went to go see a psychic, and same psychic that was in a previous episode, if you are a fan of the show. And he has a vision of Abraham Lincoln and comes back to life, talks to him, and he's in and out of the episode the entire time. And Cody is now seeing dead people. So, that being said, we should figure out what Scott Stapp had to say about this. And we should figure out, I want to talk about
Oh my God, I forgot all about
a
it.
very special thing that happened, which is that Erika, one could say, Erika, that you were addicted to Creed. Back in the day?
really was. I was like teenage girl addicted. Teenage girls get addicted to everything they like. And
That's
I happen
true.
to like Creed.
Yes, and you liked them so much, you went to go see Creed live at the
Giant Stadium.
Continental Airlines Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, USA, July 27th, 2002.
Sounds about
Sound
right.
familiar?
I mean, is that Giant Stadium?
Is
that what they call
that's
it?
the indoor arena next to Giant Stadium.
Yeah, I
But
went
yeah.
there.
So yeah, we're going to talk about your
Okay.
experience seeing Creed live after this. And of course, we're going to continue Scottoberfest, and we're going to talk about the Scott Stapp solo song called Crash, which you're about to hear in 3 seconds.
Step by step.
Some things are better left forgotten in the past, but somehow those memories never fade. As I look at these photographs, the years don't stop staring back.
Hey guys, that was Scott Stapp singing his world famous song from his solo album called Crash. And yeah, it's about Carol eating diet pills, and it's also got these lyrics. Scott Stapp Crash. Some things are better left, forgotten in the past, but somehow those memories never fade. As I look at these photographs, they years don't stop staring back. It says,
They years?
It's what it says. I think he means the.
I can confirm. It says they.
Yeah, they years.
But it's the way he sings, right?
Maybe, yes. They're deep as the lines on my face. So I say it to myself, I've lost my way. I'm someone else. When you get too high, you crash. When you get too high, you crash. Now,
It's a little on the nose.
I know. And listen, we've talked about this before, and Rob, you can attest to this. Slam dunks. Let's talk about them, right?
Basketball term.
Basketball, everyone knows. It's when you take that ball and you just shoot it. You blast it
You don't even
right in.
shoot it.
What I
Doesn't
meant to say
leave
was
your hand.
I meant to say was blast it
Yeah.
right into the top center of the, what is it, a net?
It's like a ring,
There's a ring, and then inside there's something else.
like netting.
Yes. You just fling it in
You
there.
just bash it in there.
You just really
You really ram it home.
You ram it in is what you do. You slam it. Oh, slam is a good way to say
Yeah,
that.
slam dunk.
This is the equivalent of that in music.
And lyrics. And step by step.
Yeah. So everyone can see this as clear as day.
I have to say though,
Yeah, Rob.
normally I'm the first one to go on these.
Yeah.
And I think I usually see the metaphors pretty quickly. I got nothing on this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got nothing.
Okay, so Rob's coming up next. You did agree with all of the slam dunk thing I was just saying.
What a slam dunk is, yes.
Okay, but you don't necessarily see the connection right away.
No, this is
Got
like
you.
a Steph Curry 3-pointer.
Oh, wow. That's a reference.
Well, actually, that's like a slam dunk. So this is more like a Shaquille O'Neal full quarter.
Him I know from commercials.
Slam dunking.
Oh, is he famous for that too?
I'm pretty sure he slam dunked the Gold Bun commercial I saw last night.
Oh, man, he crushed that thing, man.
When he took the ball and he put it through the ring?
No, metaphorically, when he was talking about Gold Bond, medicated powder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got like foot order or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He slam dunked that that commercial.
He does Gold Bond and Icy Hot, right?
Yeah, and others probably.
I think he does like a commercial for a Mini Cooper or something. He like drives a tiny car and it's like...
He fits in that?
I don't
It looks
know about that one.
ridiculous.
But
I don't think that happens. I think you were playing Mario Kart.
Maybe it was a dream you had. Who knows?
Why don't you take a stab at this one? Maybe Erika take a stab at this one first.
Erika, would you like to take a stab at this one?
I'm going to take a stab at it. So the lyrics remind me, they're all about like, I'm so high, I'm so high.
Well, it says when you get too high, you crash. That's the chorus.
Yeah. So obviously, here's the lyrics. Thank you. So obviously, she got really high on taking diet pills. And then when Frank was like, you can't take those diet pills because you're addicted, she had an emotional crash.
Yes.
And then as I look at these photographs, the years don't stop staring back. They're as deep as the lines on my face. It's her 40th birthday. She's feeling like an old, saggy old monster. And she's feeling like an old lady. And she's like, oh, I'm so gross and fat and old. And that's like exactly what Scott Stapp is saying here.
Yeah. He's
it's
basically
pretty on the nose.
If this is like Scott Stapp writing as Carol looking in the mirror, right?
I have to ask a question. So obviously he wrote this.
Please
obviously,
ask it.
There's no doubt in my mind. I'm a full believer. I'm a believer even.
That's unrelated, but sure.
That he wrote this about Carol Langford. Their name?
What?
Lampert.
No. Her last name is not Lambert or
It's,
Lamford.
Foster. Yeah.
He obviously wrote this.
I don't know what you were getting at with that, but yes, go ahead.
We're going to cut that.
Maybe.
He obviously wrote that about Carol Foster?
Yeah.
Foster. I'm 100% sure. I've never been more sure. However, can I ask what year this song was written? Because I think it's important to remember that Scott Stapp also smoked meth and tried to murder the president.
No.
Did not smoke meth.
I have to. I'm sorry.
Like,
no.
2 years ago?
No. I'm sorry. I have to throw the alarm on this one too.
Please hang up and try again.
We don't.
That was the breaking news alarm.
Maybe it was something like that. We don't talk about that period in Scott Stapp's life on this show.
No, I understand.
It didn't happen. You know why? Because we're not politics.
I understand. Pizzagate, whatever.
Scott Stapp is no.
Please hang up and try again.
Try again.
You're right. It's about Carol Langford.
Thank you.
Foster.
End of story, right?
Right. He never smoked meth and tried to murder the president.
That is
not his president.
No, he might have. We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it, and I have a theory that he didn't, and no one did.
No, I think it's the left trying to slander him. But this isn't politics.
We're not politics. That's not politics. And
Pizzagate.
No. Oh God.
I'm getting hungry.
Please hang up and try again.
Now, I mean, I think we hit on the big ones. When you get too high, you crash. What happened to Carol in this episode? She got too high.
And she crashed.
That's that, right?
That is that.
Definitely, we did that. And now we have to talk about, Erika, the Creed show that you went to.
Yes.
July 27th, 2002.
So you have found the date. I didn't remember
Continental
what time of year
Airlines
it was.
Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey, USA.
Yes. Giant Stadium. That's the same, right?
It's next door,
Yes.
but yes.
So when I was a sophomore in
Nets
high school.
Mm-hmm. It's the indoor
Devils.
Indoor Giants, you might want to call them.
Okay, it was
I think
indoors.
that's what they called themselves.
The Nets, they're very much involved in slam dunking, from what I hear.
I don't
Basketball
think
is
they
different.
are. I don't think they get anywhere near the net.
Maybe not.
Is that hockey?
Yes, the New Jersey Nets are hockey.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic.
They're not hockey. No,
They're basketball.
yes.
They're a basketball team. They're in Brooklyn now.
It's a whole thing. Anyway,
Okay,
you went
sports.
there to see Creed.
I didn't go there to see the sports. I went there to see the Creed.
Yes.
So I went. I don't know what you want me to tell you about it, but I'll just tell you and you can
Tell us about your experience.
You can handle this in post-production. So
Let's set the scene. It's July 27th. Sunny day?
I mean, it was summertime in Connecticut, and so there was an 85% chance it was not a sunny day. I actually think it was sunny.
Would you have said it was warm?
I would say it was temperate.
Okay.
My dad, my heavy-set white dad.
Okay. I like these details.
I always wonder what color he was.
I was always wondering that myself.
I'm just trying to set the scene for people who don't know what I look like.
You got a fat white dad, guys.
I have a fat white dad. My fat white dad drove me and like 5 friends, like way too many people to fit in his Grand Marquis. We drove from Connecticut to New Jersey. One of my friends had to sneak out and lie to her mom. And she definitely didn't even like Creed. I totally peer pressured every one of these people into coming. No one liked Creed except me.
Because you were addicted
to Creed.
To Creed.
And no one else liked Creed.
No one else was into it, but you were like, hey, have a taste.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I told you.
This is free.
I think on
Did you pay for them to go?
No, I think I made them pay.
Okay.
But
Your fat white dad didn't do it?
No, my fat white dad probably did. I think in previous episodes, I may have mentioned how one Christmas I bought every one of my friends the Weathered CD.
I was about to ask, were these the same friends that you gave a free taste to?
I didn't have a lot of friends, and so these were the same friends.
They
got the taste.
So for Christmas, so let's think about this. This is July.
7 months later.
July 27th, 2002. Christmas 2001, you're giving out a free taste of Creed at Christmas with the Weather CD.
And when I tell you that my fat dad paid for every one of those CDs.
Fat.
You mean that your fat dad paid for every one of those CDs?
Well, but what race is he again? I forgot.
He's
yeah, your fat white dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
My fat white dad.
That sounds like a really bad sitcom. My fat white dad.
Yeah, my fat bald white dad bought every one of these girls a CD and then had to drive them to East Rutherford, New Jersey from Connecticut. So for those of you that don't know, that's not
crazy.
super
Your fat
close.
white dad lived in Connecticut.
Yeah, it's not close. It's not a close drive. And so it's probably like 2 hours. We drove 2 hours, and my dad's friend came with us, and we kept having to like pull
Which
over.
dad is this? The fat white one?
The fat white one.
Okay, yeah.
What color was his friend?
White. We kept having to pull over so his friend could pee on the side of the highway, and there was a bunch of teenage girls in the car.
Oh, so he's your fat white trash dad.
I didn't say that, but I didn't not say that.
His friend was peeing multiple times on the side of the highway.
It was not once or twice.
It was more?
I think he had like a kidney thing. I don't know. I was a kid. And so you can cut any of this in post-production.
No, we won't. This is the show.
And so we're in a Grand Marquis, my dad and his friend who's very heavy, and I was in between them in the front seat.
Sorry, is the friend also fat?
The friend is so fat.
Okay, so your fat white dad and his fat white friend.
Is he a dad too? His friend?
No, but they both were named Bob. Does
that count? We're getting more details.
2 fat white Bobs.
2 fat white Bobs. So there's 2 fat white Bobs. I'm smushed in the middle. There are 4 Connecticut high school girls in the back
You're
seat.
smushed in the middle of them on the front?
You're in a fat white Bob sandwich?
Yes. We're in a Mercury
bench seat.
We're in a bench seat in a
wow.
Mercury Grand Marquis from the early 2000s.
I didn't know those still had bench seats.
They did. And we get to the Creed concert, and I was super excited to go to this Creed concert because A, I loved Creed. That's not even a joke. I really did.
Mhm.
And B,
Addicted, yeah.
I was addicted. And B, my other favorite band was the band. Now you're gonna have to like Google search this. This is a deep reference, but the band Tantric, which is now just a thing we talk
Tantric.
about sex moves. But back then it was the name of a band.
You don't think it was a reference then?
No,
you
of
don't
course
think
it
the band
wasn't.
Made up the word tantric?
No, of course it was a sex move, but I'm saying
became
that no
a sex
one,
move after the band.
I'm saying no one has thought about the band in 15 years.
I mean, listen, I know the breakdown.
Do you know
Everything is gonna shake down someday.
That song wasn't terrible. I don't care what anyone says.
I know the breakdown. Tell me again.
And about the breakdown, baby.
Am I awake now?
Oh, that's
baby.
what it was. Whatever.
Wow, you don't. This was your second favorite band. I don't even like that band, and I know that.
Whatever. Anyways, so we get to the concert, and apparently all the guys from that band, except the lead singer, that was the one I liked because he had like the leather pants and the long hair. I was like into that look.
I'm sorry,
obviously.
Tantric guy has the leather pants too?
Yeah, he looked exactly like Scott Stapp.
Got
Look it up. They looked like fucking clones.
Sounds like you also looked a lot like your flower child from high school.
That's an old
he did.
reference. Yes.
That's a deep reference, guys. You're gonna have to. This is not a standalone anymore.
No, that one's not a standalone.
You gotta go back. You gotta go back.
Ep 3, check it out.
Anyways, so we get to the concert, and apparently everybody in the band Tantric, except the lead singer, who was a Scott Stapp clone, was in that band like Days of the New from the 90s that literally no one cared about. And evidently on the exact day that this concert was, you could look this up. I can't confirm or deny that this is true.
I'm not going to, but
the guy
You
from
keep pointing at his
Tantric,
computer.
the guy from Tantric
Chris is not
went
moving.
into rehab the day that I went to that concert.
oh.
And so when I got to the
So
concert,
who's saying, I know the breakdown, everything's going to shake on
Nobody.
Sunday? What?
nobody's saying it.
They just played the music with no lyrics?
No, they played like old Days of the
Not
New
like the
songs.
song, music, and lyrics. This was just music.
They
What?
played old Days of the New songs
Oh, so the
because
rest
it was
of the
all
band.
the rest
okay.
of like it was like another band, and then they were like, "We'll have that Scott Stapp guy come, and then we'll be this new band Tantric. Oh, I guess he went to rehab. We'll be that old band we used to be."
Wow.
So they played Days of the New song.
You saw an impromptu Days of the New concert? Oh my.
Is that the name of an actual band?
Hey,
That's
you're the
definitely
one.
the name of a band,
You're the
yeah.
one
I think
saying
is.
it.
Yeah. So he
I
went
don't
in-
know.
He went
It
into
is.
rehab, and
Okay.
then the band broke up. I think
That was the end of Tantric. You witnessed the end of Tantric.
I did. So I
Folks.
never got to see them sing that song "Morning" that I really liked. Anyways.
I only know the one called Breakdown.
Yeah, there were a couple. They had like 3. Anyways, Creed was like okay, and all
Okay.
my friends didn't really like it, but I did.
That's the story. It's all
I
about.
don't know why you thought this was going to be a good story. I never told you
It's
this
a
was
story
good
about Tantric and your fat white dads, and then Creed's just that they were okay. The end.
What did you think I
I
was
teased
gonna
this
say?
for 2 segments.
Yeah, I don't know what you thought I was going to say. I went to a
Do you-
Creed concert. They were Creed.
I thought you were going to say something about it because it was your favorite band and you loved it at the time.
They were like good.
I was ready to talk song by song. They opened with Bullets. Remember that?
Yeah, of course. I didn't know what you wanted me to say.
I thought you had a story about and then Scott Stapp showed up on the stage and my life was different.
No,
and his hair was glistening in the lights
Breeze.
of the Continental Airlines Arena. That's what I was picturing.
We had nosebleed seats to a Creed concert in 2002.
But no, instead it's like we're peeing out the side of a Mercury and Tantric wasn't there.
The most
That's
interesting
the
thing
story.
about all of this is the lead up to Creed, and once Creed comes, the end.
Okay. So now we know.
I don't know. I went to a Creed concert. What the fuck do you want me to say? Creed was there.
I want you to say that you loved it.
Oh, I loved it so much.
Thank you.
But here's the thing. I obviously
say
did.
you were addicted.
I was addicted. I loved it.
Oh.
I obviously loved it. I made all my friends go to New Jersey. I made my dad. My dad and his fat friend had
okay.
to sit in the parking lot.
So let's talk
They
about.
sat in the parking lot?
They didn't
yeah,
have
what they
tickets.
do? They didn't go back to Connecticut. They did not have tickets.
Oh, good for
And-
them.
Well, they had to buy you and all your friends tickets.
But here's the thing: teenage girls, you don't buy tickets. You just sit in the parking lot.
Well, and your dad's
You
friend
can't-
probably would have had to pee so much during the show. It's not even worth having a ticket.
Right.
But let me ask you this. So the friends you made come to the show.
Well, I'm not friends with anybody anymore. Is that what
Did it all end on the way home? Like it was just a silent car ride home with you in between 2 fat white bobs?
And they're like, you didn't tell me Tantric wasn't going to be playing with the real lead singer. So that was a tremendous story. And the only thing we have
that
left
so
to do,
hard.
I did. The only thing we have left to do, maybe we have 2 things left to do, but one, we have to drink Erika's beer that she prepared. And do you have it?
I do.
Oh, great. And here it is. It looks like a glass, traditional glass.
Yeah, not a pixie stick this time.
No.
It's in a real cup. And
It's in a cup.
It's a drink.
Okay, and it's a drink. And now I'm just going to take a quick sip here.
It does seem liquid.
Definitely liquid. And it
I
tastes.
did make it of liquid.
Tastes almost, I would say it tastes exactly like a Bud Light.
Oh, it's Bud Light.
Okay.
I knew how much Scott Stapp loved Bud
So
Light.
you just. And it's in a Bud Light bottle. I should have
Yeah.
mentioned the label said Bud Light.
I had a tip that was Scott Stapp's favorite drink.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought I'd serve it to you in honor of Staptober or whatever the fuck you're calling it.
Scottoberfest.
Okay.
Thank you. You're thinking of September, which just happened. Sorry. Well, that's great. And then do we have to renew our marriage vows or something? We talked about it at the beginning.
It's up to you guys if you want to redo
Nah.
that.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Nah.
Are you guys still going to get divorced?
Probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
All right. Well, look, if you guys ever do get divorced and want to get back together, I am ordained by the Church of Stapper Day Saints.
So okay, so maybe next time we'll do that. Guys, thanks for being here. And when I say guys, I mean Erika.
Guys and gals.
Guys and
Guys
gals.
and dolls.
Yes, that's
Like
something.
Broadway or something.
Definitely. They
That's
should
the thing.
They should do a Creed musical. Oh, we did that. Anyway.
I mean, they should pick it up.
Yeah. Rob, also thank you for being here.
I'll thank me too.
Yeah. Anyone want to thank me?
Thanks, Chris.
You don't have to, but okay. Hey, you're welcome.
Good job tonight hosting, buddy.
How about me?
Thanks. I thanked you first.
Oh, thank me again.
Thanks, Erika.
You're welcome.
Okay, and that's been our episode. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another episode of Step by Step. And until then, we would just like to say on behalf of the podcast, my name is Chris McCarthy.
I'm Rob Haddon.
Can't step.
Won't step.
Erika, any parting words?
Won't stop.
Yeah, Rob already said that.
That's my line.
Rob already said that.
Can't stop.
No, that's
Wait,
Chris's
I
line.
already said that. You got to think of a third one.
Don't stop.
Hey, there you go. You heard it here first. Don't step. Bye, everyone.
Step by step.